Hey Lou, I see you out there. Okay, it's on. All right, here we go. Here we don't go. Pretend go. Okay, now here we go. All right, welcome Los Angeles Astronomical Societants. I am Keith Armstrong, and welcome to the general meeting of April 4th, 2025. Here we go. Roman, you didn't clap. Tomorrow? No, tomorrow? There's one guy. Fine. Fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough. All right. Do we have any new members? We got you right there. I know there's one right there. He's not moving his hand up. Yeah, there it is. All right. Would you like to introduce yourself to the rest of the club? Yeah, we got it. We got some yes. All right. Get my steps in.
Hi, everyone. Nick Hogan. It's my first time coming in person. Attended a few virtual meetings, but glad to be here and be here more often and meet a lot of you. So thanks for the welcome.
Welcome, Nick. Welcome, Nick.
It is Gardner. Hi, Mike. I see some old timers here. Mike, Jack, where'd Furry Face go? Probably to the bathroom.
Done. Reminds me of Romper Room. I see Jimmy. I see Patty.
There's Dana's here.
Looks like you're muted, Keith. Oh, no. Anybody know any audio engineers?
Oh, yeah, I can see. All right, there you go.
Is that better? No, it's still.
No, you're coming in.
All right, that's better, right? Can everybody hear me?
Yep.
And
I
zoom
can hear
in.
you
Oh, I
now.
got a thumbs up from Teresa. All right, I'll take it.
Yeah, we can hear you.
All right. Okay.
Can everyone
well,
else mute themselves, please? Just, we don't need your background noises. Please mute yourselves.
I like it. Well, I'm not going to make the local new members do their spiel again, but welcome to the new members. Tonight's agenda is going to be based around Spencer and I's presentation about the past and future of our dark sky site. We're going to get into that. Then we'll have some announcements. We'll do some door prizes. I'll do my good heavens bit, and then I'll tell you about what's coming up. But in the short term, let's get right to the presentation, and I will cede the podium to Spencer to start.
All right, let's see. I'm not used to being at this end of things.
You really need to eat that mic. We can barely hear you, Spencer.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Sorry, guys. I'm challenged tonight. Where's the How do I get the mouse to move on this? Ah. Okay, perfect. Oh.
Okay, I'm gonna go over there because I don't have a Bluetooth headset and won't talk to my hearing aids. I don't know why it won't talk to my. Deal or something? Yeah. Okay. Okay, LAAS, master plan for the Lockwood Valley,
All right,
property.
everybody hear me?
Tom, can you mute yourself, please?
Okay, so we're going to go over the master plan, but before we get started, I want to get people on the same level playing field because I know a lot of people have not been to Lockwood. Some of you have been there maybe once, and some of you go there all the time. So I just want to give everybody an overview of what the site is, give you a history of the site, some of the challenges and solutions we've come up with, and then Keith will go into a master plan and the next steps. So for those of you who aren't familiar, we call it Lockwood
Very-
or SCAS, Stephen Cofield Astronomical Site. So it's about 90
very
miles
faint.
northwest of Los Angeles. And as you can see from the map, it's up Interstate 5. So it's got concrete pads with AC power at most of the outlets or most of the pads. And you see the pads are outlined in the diagram in the picture. And we've got 3 roll-off roof observatories. They're outlined in yellow. The one in the center is the Gordon Mitchell Observatory. Then we've got 2 roll-off roof observatories that are up in the upper left-hand corner, outlined in yellow. We've got some large aperture scopes, a 14-inch scope, the 16-inch, and a 26-inch. So a little bit of history. So the site was purchased in the 70s, and in order to use it as an observatory or observing site, the LAS had to apply for a conditional use permit from the County of Ventura. And so that was granted, and the resolution that granting it is shown in this slide. And so note that it's for an observatory site with related structures and parking facilities. So this is the artist's concept of what it was going to be like. So there's a bunker-style observatory in the center. That's the Gordon Mitchell Observatory that everybody saw in the previous picture. And there's some history about that. I think Lou Chilton can go into some interesting stories about bullets whizzing overhead in the early days from people target practicing, which was probably the idea behind the bunker-style observatory. Get hunkered down in there. So the excavation started in 1971, so there are 3 of the club members doing the excavation.
Your audio is fading.
So pouring the foundation, started October 71. More of the construction. And then in the 1890s and 90s, just a couple of things happened. One, the letter that you see is a newsletter from the club president, basically describing how a trailer was donated to the site, to the club, was hauled up to Lockwood.
The speaker needs to share his screen.
Clubhouse and so on. And then on the right, you see some pictures of people building what we call the block house. It was a cinder block building that was used to house a 31-inch scope. So you can see that in the top picture, you see them starting to work on it. The bottom one, you see the finished product with people set up telescopes on the pad in front of it. Then in 2018 and 23, we had a revitalized Lockwood committee, and they oversaw the construction of a new ADA compliant bathroom. And you can see the people working on that bathroom in the top slide, the top picture. And then they also laid the footing for a concrete pad for what we call the Dob pad. And so you can see part of the concrete structure, I'm sorry, part of the completed bathroom in the back. And we also started working on 2 roll-off roof observatories. So
The audio is fading.
this is one of them. Let me see if I can get this video to launch. Okay, well, it's not gonna.
Can someone tell Spencer to use the microphone better, please?
Sorry, guys. Didn't have a chance to practice this. Okay. Oh, there we go. So this is a time lapse of people putting together what we call the PureTech observatory. So it's a metal structure with a motorized roof that houses a Takahashi scope, which you can see on the right-hand picture. And that's one of our members, Roman, who's done a lot of work getting the electronics working on that. So
Spencer still needs to talk directly into the mic, and please share that screen. All I see is a small screen. There you go.
And then I'll turn that down. And Spencer, on Zoom, can you share your presentation view on Zoom?
I don't have it on here. I mean, it's on here.
Okay, but can you pin it? The people on Zoom say that they can't see your presentation.
I need to pin it on. Well, okay, let me see if I can't pin it. Hang on. Let's see. All right. How's that? Can people on Zoom see this now?
Yeah, we can hear you too. Yep, much better.
Okay, yes. All right. Okay, let's see. How much of this did people miss on Zoom? Up to here?
Everything. And I still see a
Should I
small
go back?
screen.
Yeah. All right, okay, here we go.
I don't know.
Let's start over again.
People. Oh no!
Okay,
Don't
here we
start
go.
over again.
All right. Sorry, guys.
Now make sure
Should've
we
done
see
a
the
dress
entire
rehearsal.
screen. It's still too
Okay,
small.
good. All right, so take 2. So for those of you who aren't familiar with it, SCAS is our dark sky site, and it's located about 90 miles northwest of LA, up Interstate 5. So it's got concrete pads with power, and you see the pads that are outlined in purple and turquoise in this picture. And it's got 3 roll-off roof observatories. The one in the center is the Gordon Mitchell Observatory. Then you've got 2 of them in the upper right-hand corner, the yellow rectangles. And so they're one is completely automated for remote operation. 3 large aperture telescopes, a 14-inch mid-cast grain, 16-inch reflector, and another 26-inch. And the history of the site is that it was purchased in the 70s, and the LAS had to apply for a conditional use permit to construct an observatory because that area is basically zoned residential and agricultural. And so you can see a copy of the resolution that was passed to allow the construction of an observatory with related structures and parking facilities. This is a drawing for a bunker-style observatory with observing pads. So, you know, the stories I've heard are people were concerned about bullets whizzing overhead from other neighbors' target practicing, hence the bunker-style observatory. And I also ran across some reports of vandalism, so I think that explains some of the construction as well. So these are three of the members doing the excavation. Lou Chilton on the left, Mike Simmons pouring the foundation in the 71, block wall construction. And then in 1980s and 90s, the letter on the left shows a letter that the president wrote describing the donation of a trailer that was used as the clubhouse, and that served as a warming trailer and sort of office space for a number of years. On the right, in the 1990s, there was construction of what we call the block house, which was a cinder block building used to house a 31-inch telescope. And then the bottom of that, you can see the finished building with people setting up telescopes on the pad in front of the building. In 2018-23, there's some other improvements, including an ADA compliant bathroom that you see the picture of people building it there. And then the concrete pad for Dobbs, which is in the lower picture you see the footings being laid for it. And then we also had 2 roll-off roof observatories. So this is one of them. And let's see if I can get this to play now. Yeah, okay. So that's a time lapse. So that's 1 day's worth of work, a full day, almost starting about 8 in the morning until about 6 in the evening. So it was a kit that we put together over the course of the day. And on the right, you can see Roman inside the structure with the Takahashi telescope, and he's at the control panel for the system. So this is the second roll-off roof observatory. You see Keith sitting inside, enjoying the view. It's a split roof observatory. And you can see that, and then this other picture is the,
So it's open all?
shows them opening up the Takahashi.
I'll be damned if it's not moving. And there's our open.
And then it closes. So anyways, moving on. So the Gordon Mitchell Observatory, I need to point out that that's the only permitted structure on the site. That was issued as part of the conditional use permit. So we had some problems. We had turns out that the blockhouse permit wasn't pulled on it that we could find. Nobody could find permits, and so we toyed with the idea of going after and trying to get an after-the-fact permit, but nobody could find any plans for the construction of that. And so basically, in order to do anything to get it permitted, it would require a lot of work to basically hire a structural engineer to go in and certify that it meets current seismic codes. So it's actually cheaper to tear it down and replace it with the building you see on the right, right below the rainbow. And that's a tough shed that replaced the concrete block shed. The other problem is that we had bathrooms. On the right, you see that small yellow building. That building is the old bathroom, and that was slated for demolition. And then the new bathroom is right behind it, that white building. And there's a water tank, a green water tank. And so the way the system worked was that we used water from the tank. We got water from our neighbors. They filled the 2,500 gallon tank and used that to flush the toilets. The sewage went into a holding tank underground. Well, the County of Ventura requires that any bathrooms be connected to a permanent water source and a septic system. So we had to, in order to clear that code violation, we had to demolish the old bathroom, remove the holding tank, and then take out all the plumbing fixtures out of the new bathroom so we could use it for storage. Then the trailers, there's nothing in the CUP that specified camping or sleeping quarters. And so the County of Ventura said, those have to go. So both trailers went. We actually had acquired a trailer that you see in the bottom, and we were planning on using that for extra sleeping quarters and office space. So that had to go too. And basically, there's a nuance there. You can rest overnight, but you can't stay multiple nights. So basically, no camping. But the county agreed that it's not reasonable to force people to drive off the site after spending a whole night viewing. So you can rest, but you can't camp. So this is a summary of the remediation. So the violation was camping or sleeping quarters not allowed. So we got rid of the mobile homes and the trailer. The violation on the running water and septic system required for bathroom facilities. So we removed the tanks and basically installed porta potties. For the cinder block building, we tore it down and replaced it with a tough shed. So we had a conundrum. So we talked about getting a new conditional use permit to allow bathrooms and sleeping facilities on the SCAS 2.5 site. But there are some risks. One is that a new conditional use application, conditional use permit application, would be a lengthy, i.e. multiple year process, and involve lots of money because we'd have to hire civil engineers and to review the site and so on. So it was going to be a long process and expensive. There was no guarantee of success. And then under a new conditional use permit, the GMO, Gordon Mitchell Observatory, would probably be subject to updated building code requirements. So we might have ended up tearing that down in order to meet the new requirements. And then the other thing is that the cup that we have is in perpetuity. Any new conditional use permit has a lifetime, and so you'd have to go through the whole renewal process again. And so you'd have to apply for a renewal, and then you'd have to meet the current building codes, whatever those are. And so that was a lot of risk. And so that was our conundrum. So fortunately, we had Darrell Dooley found that the adjacent 5-acre parcel to the north was for sale, number one, and secondly, had a working well. So he talked to the owner, and it turned out that they weren't really interested in keeping the property. They owed about $20,000 in back taxes. And so he negotiated a sales price of basically the back taxes. And then we had an anonymous donor stepped up and made a donation specifically to purchase that site. So this is what it looks like. In the yellow, you see this, what we call a SCAS 2.5. That's the existing site. And then the green above is the Lockwood 5. It's a 5-acre site right adjacent and to the north of the existing site. So now I'm going to turn it over to Keith, who's going to talk about where we go from here.
I think maybe now, if there's any questions from Zoomland about history of SCAS or anything like that, we can head that off now before we get into the meat of the lineup, as it were, with what's going to be ahead of us. Like that. Yeah. No. Yes.
We have one question on Zoom. What's the cost to tear down the blockhouse?
I don't know. It was like $2,500 or something like that to tear it down.
Yeah, pretty
I believe.
cheap. Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't too much. Gravity did most of the work for us. Didn't require a wrecking ball. It hurt to see, though. I kind of like that building.
Okay. What's the difference between resting and camping?
Well, I guess it's really a matter of consecutive instances.
Yeah.
So certainly they don't want people kind of sitting there and making a holiday weekend out of it up there, which is unfortunate. But, if you have a tent or if you have something in your car, you're more than welcome to use it for that single night that you're up there. But, certainly no campfires or, prolonged staying.
No setting up your beach volleyball net.
Yeah, that's right. Keep your barbecue at home.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can rest in a travel trailer, but
Yeah.
it's a matter of how long you do it.
Yeah. And you can bring a sleeping bag and put a cot on the sleeping bag. That's okay. The whole idea is that they just don't want that to be a quote campsite.
Correct. Anything else?
Any other questions? Yeah, so somebody asked, can you rest in a travel trailer? The answer is yes.
If you bring a travel trailer up there, you might get a couple of friends with you in there.
Any more questions on Zoom? Let's see. Okay, that's it.
Oh, what's that one right there?
Oh, no beds? Okay, that's it, yeah. Okay.
Okay, we're good. Yeah, you can bring a bed. You just can't, make it your permanent residence or one for a weekend. It's more a matter of it's the timing of the thing, not the act, more or less. All right. Well, let's move on to the next phase of things. How do I make it so I can do the thing that's to the right?
Right and left, yeah.
Okay, I can't. How do I see it so I can see it here?
Oh. You can't. You'll see it on there.
Well, I can't really read it.
Oh.
That's the whole thing.
All right.
Evan, how do I get back to where I was? All right, you can override it. Well, I'm going to be talking about what to do from here. So the procession of things, there we go, much better. The procession of things to get to this point, it was kind of like a lot of nothing for a long time, and then all of a sudden, a lot of change and a lot of new things, and a lot of it had to do with the club growing after COVID and meeting the needs of the modern astronomer, I suppose, would be a way of doing it. So, with no further ado, the Lockwood opportunity. This starts with the 5-acre Lockwood 5 property brought to us by Daryl and our anonymous donor. It is zoned as a residential property with featuring a working well and offering a solution to the challenges that we had. That allows us to have a house on the property, and there's no conditional use permit issues up there. The beauty of it is that it wasn't a decision that had to be made to take out of our budget because the funds were allotted specifically for this. This residential zoning allows for the construction of a house and an accessory dwelling unit, providing the necessary amenities such as bathrooms that we desperately need and sleeping quarters. More specifically, the well that we have up there allows us to have, I believe, four total bedrooms and 2 total bathrooms up there. So, with all of this opportunity afforded us with the new property, it was important to make sure that we're serving the club at large and not just like the most vocal members or the people that are showing up the most for stuff. We're trying to make sure that everyone's accounted for, all voices are there. So, a new master plan was shaped, and we wanted to make sure that we were advancing the knowledge of astronomy, optics, telescope making, and the wonders of the universe, which is our club creed. We decided to use the strategy of using strategic visioning, inspired by one of our members, Brian Ellerding, to try to get as much data as we can from as many people as we can to facilitate the local and remote use of our property and make sure that those involved, that we have sufficient stakeholder support for the proposed elements to make sure that people are getting what they want, and to make sure that we can raise the necessary funding for it. So, this wasn't going to be a high-rise building or anything like that. And probably the most importantly, to make sure that we're not going to run afoul of the county again, and make sure that we're on the straight and narrow, no more Dukes of Hazzard style construction up there. Yeah, I know. And actually, really importantly, I think this goes along to what I was talking about with the newer astronomer. We're trying to make sure that we're custodians of the property up there, and that includes making sure that the animal kingdom and all flora and fauna are accounted for and cared for. So, there's Brian Ellerding, acting as Pat Sajak and Vanna White at the same time up there during the strategic visioning session that we held at Garvey. This was the first one that we did in December 13th of 2023 at Garvey. We had 40 members show up between being in person and on Zoom. The raw input for both sessions, this one I'm talking about right now and the one in the following April 23rd, are available online, so you can take part retroactively. You can yell at your screen all you want, but we can't hear you, unfortunately, because it's too late. But in that, the idea was to get our key guiding principles of mission alignment, make sure we had stakeholder support for the ideas being represented, make sure that funding will be responsibly spent, our code compliance and sustainability of the property, as I mentioned in the last slide. The raw input from this and the key guiding principles are used to generate a master plan. This plan is designed to be flexible and adaptable going forward. So this isn't writ, this isn't the Constitution, this is our plan. And then if time changes, then we need it to alter. This is not fixed, but it makes a lot of sense for everyone participating in that in the immediate future. So in creating this plan, we took all of the data and we parsed it into near term, midterm, and long term. The bulk of what we're going to talk about today is the immediate future, which are going to be in the next couple of years. So there'll be a lot. It gets less specific as we get between phase 1 to phase 2 and then phase 2 to phase 3. So part of phase 1 is a lot of what's happened already. So we're kind of keep getting you caught up. So with we're calling our SCAS 2.5, which is the much of what Spencer was talking about up to this point. What has already happened is we got the electrical upgrades going for the roll-off roof observatories, and we're going to be reworking the electrical actually for the whole property and making sure that the 26-inch shed, which is the old 31-inch shed, which is not a shed at all, it's a tough shed, has electrical there. And that'll be handy for future family nights as well, because that's where we keep the buffet. And then what we've been crowing about over the last month or so with the Takahashi shed, that was a big deal for us to get accomplished, and it's done, thanks to Roman. We're going to be talking about a lot about that next month for the general meeting, because we are ever so close to just like letting this fly to all the members. Yeah, I'm not going to talk too much more about it because that's for next month. Give you a reason to come back here. We want to make sure that this is actually going to be a big deal, the robotic observatory for telepresence, to allow members outside of those attending sessions at SCAS to be able to use it going forward by having a camera system that can be accessed outside of your presence at SCAS. We are also making sure to evaluate and retrofit the structures to improve fire resistance. Part of that is also our regular weed abatement and rodent control to make sure that the foundations and pads are safe from burrowing, and also to make sure that we're minimizing nighttime trip hazards. We've done a lot up there to minimize debris up there, but them rodents, they continue to make things hazardous for us, so we're trying to minimize that. And then of recent times, we have also trimmed the trees, so we have deeper horizons to view through. So for those of you who haven't been to Lockwood, it's just going to be nice. But for those of you who have been to Lockwood, you're going to notice it right away. We have a much larger sky than we used to. And we'll continue to replace or repair any pads as needed. Okay, but for the Lockwood 5, the strategic visioning, there was a lot to say here because there was a lot of input on what to do. This is like the big, exciting thing. And it was determined that to get the most boxes checked out of the strategic visioning in one swoop, it was time, it makes sense to put a residence on that property. What you'll see in this slide right here is where we're thinking it'll be the best way to do it. In the spirit of keeping on the straight and narrow, like we've been talking about, we have a land use consultant that's been guiding us through everything. He's like pretty much at this point a honorary member of the club. I feel like I know that guy like family already. And then we have a civil engineer that's going to be helping us with make sure that we're putting everything where it needs to be. That includes placement of structures, parking, road grading, and making sure that emergency vehicles have access and turnarounds up there. These are all things that I had no clue that I would have to learn into getting into astronomy as a hobby It's amazing how that works. So in the structure, in the picture right here, you'll see where we're thinking the house will go. This is really close to the SCAS 2.5. It's close to the water well, close to the little road easement that we have in there, and the water tank, the existing water tank that we have on that 5-acre property, which hopefully we'll be able to use for our well. The 100-inch, I wish, the 100-foot radius around the house is what we have to clear to stay within the regulations of the local fire department to make sure that we're fire safe. Actually said all those things already. We're going to include how we're going to acquire power, whether it's going to be solar. That would be amazing if we can pull it off, or at the very least, get proper power put there, and make sure we have the septic leach field together and water filtration so we can have the kitchen and the flushy toilet that you also richly deserve. I know you want it. I want it so bad. Oh my God. I don't even know. Okay, so this is more alternative views here. I've kind of zoomed out a bit so you can see more what I'm talking about. This is kind of like a midfield view to what Spencer is showing us, and you can kind of make out the sort of topographical lines there too. So you can see it's relatively flat through there. There's a road that goes, for those of you that have been to Lockwood, you know that there's a road that on the north edge of the property, and that actually extends all the way back around to Boy Scout Camp Road again. You can actually see it kind of extending to the left side of the frame over there. Okay, so house, right? But what house? We have Ted Moss, who's working as our coordinator for this whole development thing, and this man has done an insane amount of tedious work to make sure that we're making the right choices. We had this fully locked down, ready to go. We had our whole plan, and then the entire world caught on fire over here, and then we had to sit back and say, "Are we making a right choice with our original design?" And it was all run through just brought all the way back down to zero again, to make sure that we're doing all we can do to make sure that our property is fireproof. The unfortunate thing about having a dark sky site in the middle of the forest is that it's pretty much uninsurable for fire. So we're kind of, kind of like a pirate ship up there. We're just kind of on our own. So we have to do the best we can. So we have our options here. So this is the process that was gone through the building type evaluation, and it was come to that a stick-built house was going to be too expensive to pull off, and we'd have to be putting in architectural diagrams and all this stuff that we don't really want to be going through. Real big pain in the butt. We had pre-approved options that the county was allowing us, which give us a limited selection of plans, but we still have to get a contractor and figure out how to make that happen. There's the manufactured homes, which are prefabricated and are already pre-approved because it's known what it is. It's basically just a big pre-approved thing that can go up there. All we need to do is lay the pad down. And the other option was a Quonset hut or steel frame thing, which was not originally part of the consideration, but they are pretty fireproof. So what we decided to go with is the prefabricated home. All right, so I'll stick with where I'm at here. We determined that it'll get us to where we need to go as fast as we can. We're looking at somewhere between, I think it's going to be a 3-bedroom, 1-bath, 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom is what we're going to put up there. It'll be something that will be built quickly. It's going to take a long time to get through the permitting, but all we're going to have to do is get our leach field together, get our power together, get all the permits. But once the trigger is pulled, I think it'll assemble relatively quickly once we can. I'm getting the nod from Ted. This is good. All right. And that's our short-term plan. It's really exciting to think about. We'll have the flushy toilet that everyone wanted. We'll have a place to rest without camping. We'll have a refrigerator. We'll have a full kitchen. There'll be parking up there. And I don't know, and more. We'll see. Phase 2, this is the we'll see, on our 2.5 property where there's a lot of talk about maybe putting in a second Dob pad because the modern astronomer likes their big aperture, and who are we to get in their way? And we've been talking about the opposite of a large Dob would be the smart telescopes, and maybe having a little area where everyone can set up their little smart scopes, and they can kind of be smart scopes together, and not get kicked over. In GMO, we're looking to reinforce the rail system for the roll-off roof. Currently, a person can do it. You can crank it, and for most of the time, you can do it with one arm, but it does take a younger spirit and a little bit of sweating, but it's a good way to get your steps in. But it would be nice just to be able to also maybe make it automatic. Accessibility improvements for that particular thing would be nice too, to get the stairs together, maybe even make a ramp. I don't know, we'll see. As far as the Lockwood 5 goes, we can put additional structures there for storage, and maybe perhaps if we are doing a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, then there's room for one more structure there for one more bedroom. But we'll see. I don't know. Maybe you'll know. Then beyond that, I mean, we have a lot of property here. We have 7.5 total acres. I mean, as the club continues to grow, maybe some people want to be way out there away from the, from the viewing field and all of the white lights. We can perhaps put pads out there. Sky's the limit. We may want to make sure that we're staying on top of our environmental responsibility, and we're also not ruling out the possibilities of going GMARS style and having individual observatories to lease out. This can happen on either property. I mean, now that we've removed those trailers on the 2.5, it's astonishing how much space we're not using on that property. So this can kind of happen anywhere. And certainly in the vein of GMARS also, we could potentially do community outdoor spaces for dining and barbecues, that kind of stuff. In the pet areas, this will probably be on the 5-acre. So how are we going to do it? With a lot of research, we've determined it's not going to be free, which is, we tried to get it as far as we could, but yeah, it's going to require money. We've determined that even for phase 1, the operational costs for both properties combined will be between $14,000 and $16,000 annually. If you include what's already been done up there, this includes the going through all the remediations and all the business that basically every word that's been uttered today, the cost of all of that, to where we need to go to get to the end of phase 1 is going to be $600,000. The good news is $200,000 of that has already been raised and used to get us to the point where I can actually talk about this. So that's really exciting. Let's see. We have another $200,000, which more than $15,000 of members' money has been earmarked for donations already, and so that means we are mostly 2/3 of the way there. So we just need to raise an additional $200,000 from everybody. This is through donation matching. Basically, we're going to have a middle $200,000 squared away. So ways that we can get there. I mean, obviously, grants and donations is going to be a big deal. The beauty of donating to Los Angeles Astronomical Society is you get the double tax advantage for donations made from your required minimum distribution from your retirement plan, meaning money that you pull out of that, you don't get taxed for that as income, but you do get a tax break for donating money to LAIS because of our nonprofit status. We're talking about also doing proper fundraising. We're finding that, especially through the Silver Lake stuff, there are for-profit entities do want to hire us for their events. We have one actually coming up, and this will be a way for younger members to participate that aren't necessarily well-heeled but want to help with this effort. So you will be able to put sweat equity into this as well. And I know this is something that I'm going to be doing for sure. So there's ways you can. So how to help for all this stuff? I'm glad you asked. Definitely join the Lockwood committee on the groups IO and then join the meetings. It's something that I did right away when I joined the club because I just wanted to participate with this awesome opportunity we have to build an observatory for the future and for the present, actually. Definitely help with fundraising. That's going to be, there'll be opportunities for that going for the future, in the future. Look for me to be crowing off about that a lot. And then watch the groups IO, watch the bulletins. And if you have any other questions about anything after tonight that you don't think of, reach out to me at president@laas.com or Spencer at secretary@laas.com. Org, sorry, I corrected one thing and they messed up the other one. Dang. And that's the QR code. If you're just like, oh man, I have so much money right now, I just need to give it to you. It's right there on the screen. And we can help you out by emptying your bank account instantly for a tax break. And I believe that's all I got for you. All right, and we can get into questions. Do we have any questions locally? I have one. Okay.
Hi. That second lot, the rules about sleeping and napping and camping, does that apply to the second lot? And will it down the line when we have a house there?
I'm glad you asked. No, it doesn't, because our conditional use permit for the 2.5 property does not apply to that one. That is actually a residence, so technically somebody could live there full time. There's no reason why not. So that's a really big one. So yeah, you can stay there as much as you like. Coming up.
Hi there. So I'm curious, so you're talking about building this house with bedrooms. What's the rationale behind having like a residence versus, say, a very large but affordable pre-manufactured big 40 by 40 structure, like a barn or a garage? Put that on there, and then whatever happens inside, what happens inside.
Well, a couple of things off top. First, insulation, because it gets really hot and really cold up there, so we need to make sure that it's climate controlled. And the toilet thing is really big. I mean, that was during the strategic visioning. I think everyone all at once said, we need a proper bathroom and a shower, and people wanted a kitchen, and so it was correct. And it is we are going now, to be clear, we are talking about a manufactured structure, so it is akin to what you're talking about, just one that comes pre-outfitted with everything we need. So I agree, but yeah, it is technically a mobile home, except it doesn't have wheels, so it's going to be on a structure. It's basically it'll be akin to what you see at GMARS, which is a pre-manufactured structure on a concrete pad. I think I can reach.
You mentioned grants in your sources of funding. What types of grant makers are you looking at? How are you doing your research?
Well, part of that is going to be Brian Ellerding, who I mentioned in the with the strategic visioning. He's more of the ace for that sort of a thing. We have received grants before for Garvey, the dome there. That came from Metabolic Studios. So we have received grants in the past. It's just we're going to work on our visibility to accrue more going forward. We're also going to be looking at potential corporate donations. And that's another thing too, for any members that work for a corporation and you wish to donate, double check with your company to see if they do donation matching for charitable sort of things. Anyone else locally? Cool. All the better. All right. the existing funds that were spent. The ones that were spent so far was all earmarked specifically for this. We have a particularly angelic donor that is emotionally invested, shall we say, in SCAS to make this happen. None of this came out of our general funds. It was all earmarked specifically for Lockwood.
So another comment is that the firefighters have used gas as a staging area in the past. Okay, another comment was the firefighters have used gas as a staging area in the past. Which is true. That was a statement.
I agree.
I agree. Somebody else, accessibility, such a ramp would be awesome. Security issues, I'm concerned about, or curious about insurance coverage and costs.
That's getting lumped into that $14,000 to $16,000 annual that we're talking about. For fire, there's nothing we can do. It's going to be what it's going to be for that. But as far as theft and that goes, yeah, it'll be, obviously our insurance will go up for having property up there, but that's accounted for in that.
Yeah, it's just primary liability insurance.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's another comment. ADA compliance is required when building these days.
Yep.
Uh-huh. And does the club have legal counsel and commercial insurance on retainer for the expansion?
We do have commercial insurance even now, as becoming president. I'm learning about all this stuff about insurance and zoning and all this stuff. But yeah, we already do.
Okay. Somebody mentioned LAS.com is for sale. So
That's Tim Thompson who's saying that, who actually secured LAS.org for us. So what are we going to...
Okay. Lockwood timeshare coming up.
Yeah, potentially. Oh, yeah.
We'll make, somebody says, making a road between the sites.
The good news is there already is a road between these sites. I mean, we'll definitely grade it and make it a little more obvious what's going on there. But yeah, we have that. There is a little road that goes through the back of there, but it'll be plain as day. Don't worry about it. And public entry seems like a likely thing. Yeah, hopefully.
Okay. Any more questions? Yeah.
Oh, we got one from Eric up here.
Yeah, I was wondering if there's a possibility of porting water onto the 2.5, or does that violate the cup?
It does.
Okay, never mind. There you go.
It's also, yeah. It also would be really, I mean, I really like the idea of having the Steve Krufeld astronomical canal going between the two sites. I really, really wanted it, Eric. I really did. Yeah, it's just not going to happen, though.
Penny had a question.
I was just wondering.
Hold on, wait. Because then people on Zoom cannot hear you.
I was just wondering if thought has gone into yet where the second dog pad would be.
Oh, sure. It would go right below the first one, so there would be like giant stairs. You could look at it that way. Directly south of the existing one, right below there would be kind of like terraced. With that made the most sense. And we even talked a little bit about maybe having storage sheds tied to each one. So we keep getting donated these really awesome telescopes, and we actually need places to store them. Our cup has not yet runneth over, but it's meniscusing right now.
Okay, one question on Zoom. Star membership criteria were not explained. Well, basically, it's pretty straightforward. A member for at least a year and nominated or endorsed by 2 existing star members, and you pay your additional fee.
Explain what a star member is.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. So star membership is a class of membership that gives you access to the property whenever you want. So normally the property is used for dark sky nights, which is the new moon, the Saturday closest to the new moon, in the year round. And then in the summers or the warmer months, we have family nights, which is typically the Saturday closest to the third quarter moon. And then star members can access the site anytime in addition to those times.
That's right. Those criteria won't change with this.
And to be a star member, what do they have to do? Tell them.
Oh, be a star member, you basically have to be a member for at least a year, a member in good standing for at least a year, which means you're current on your dues. And you have to get 2 existing STAR members to endorse your application, and you pay the fee, which is $60 a year in addition to your regular membership dues. And then if you get a reserve pad, that's an additional $10 a year.
All right. Anything else for anybody else? I think we've done it.
Okay.
All right. Well, thank you, everybody. That's awesome. If there's any other questions, you can always reach out on the groups IO, or like I said, reach out to me at president@laas.org or Spencer at secretary@laas.org. You can harass either of us, but harass me. Spencer's tired. He's got so much going on. Harass me. Okay, let's move forward. We got some announcements here. Firstly, I would like to bring to your attention that the Mount Wilson nights, there's still spots available for the 60-inch nights up there. So look at our club calendar and book them if you haven't done it. It was the very first thing I did with the club. That's how I met Brian. I met one of my best friends, like outside of the club now. It's also really awesome to spend a night where you can look twice through the thing. There's always food. It's a really great time if you haven't done it. Plus, you can see some really cool stuff. The other thing that's worth mentioning is in the presentation portion that Spencer gave, he showed the 14-inch telescope there that in the Carson Brucker Observatory. And that's actually like brand new. As of last Saturday, it made its way to its final place. It's on a firm pier with a second telescope mounted on top of it, and that'll be available for visual or astrophotography if you want to clamp a camera onto it. So that's really exciting. So that's going to be available starting at the next event up there, which is going to be Family Night on the 19th, which is this coming Saturday, if I'm not mistaken. So that's the new stuff. Now I'll get on to my good heavens portion of things, and this is where I highlight members that I think deserve a little bit of sunshine in the darkness. And this time I'm going to do a triumvirate of members. In the last 2 months, I've found a lot of joy in seeing like some younger members that are taking an active role. There's always been a lot of retirees and working age people just looking to get a break there, but it's really refreshing to see some younger members. So I'm going to make a point to highlight Luke Maraca, Dylan Anderson, and Ada Rodriguez. Luke, you'll find him stirring it up on Groups IO. He loves talking about the Smart eyepiece, which is going to be really exciting when it comes out. And you can see him at Griffith Park. Dylan Anderson is already properly famous by being featured in the LA Times article. Got his picture on there, fancy guy. So you'll see him at Silver Lake all the time and Griffith Park. And then Ada Rodriguez and her dad, Alan. This one was particularly special to me because she's young. I'm going to say like maybe junior high. And she's out there with her dad in her little telescope in her awesome young eyes, showing people, like out there just showing people planets and stuff and telling facts right there at Griffith Park. And you'll also find her at Garvey. She's building a telescope. And I think that's pretty amazing. And when talking about all of this stuff that we're building at Lockwood, I realized that this is really for you, like the younger members. This is going to be for you to take on. And a lot of this is, you're going to be seeing all the real, the reality of all this is, the realization of all this is going to be for a lot of these younger members to go forward, especially we're looking at how these, we're seeing pictures of Mike Simmons and Lou, with the, cement and everything like that, and seeing like, okay, now I'm the one that's able to benefit what they did. The three of you, this stuff will be for you. So, thank you. And now let's get into right before we do the door prizes, I'd like to introduce David Seidel to come to the podium. I met David during the last Griffith Park Star Party. He's a club member, newly minted or returning? Newly minted. Look at him. Look at this guy. He'd like to introduce himself to the club. Yeah.
Yeah, I introduced myself in February. I'm a member as of January because I finally got off my fanny and joined. I don't know what the holdup was. What I didn't mention at the time is I'm actually now the interim curator here at Griffith Observatory. So no, don't thank me yet. That's all I can say. So the last time the observatory had a curator was 2019 with Laura Danley, and it's been vacant through COVID and everything else. And Deputy Director Mark Pine has been holding up the end for lots of stuff. Easiest way to describe it is the curator is responsible for all the forward-facing, public-facing parts of the program here. So I volunteered to be fired into retirement from JPL with the last round of layoffs. Know Mark Schaefer from the JPL Ham Radio Club, Tim Thompson, and Jeff Schroeder from the long-forgotten JPL Astronomical Society as well. I was actually a guide here from 80 to 83, so my life has come full circle. And just looking forward to just continue to connect the LAAS with the observatory here. So I'm around until the whole process of identifying a permanent curator takes place. I'm guessing 2 years, it better not be 10. So I don't know how long to be around. Thank you, Keith.
All right, David, thank you so much. Okay, let's do some door prizes. I've been watching Dave sitting there tapping his foot waiting for this moment. No. Yeah.
Not at all. Welcome, everybody. Real quickly, how many of you have never been to our Lockwood site? Raise your hand, please. Look at that. If you haven't gotten out there, I'm going to tell you, it's one of the highlights of being a member of this club. Because when you go out there, if you like being outdoors I'm talking in the wilderness kind of like thing, with the beautiful skies and fresh air and camaraderie, there is no better place than being at Lockwood. It's a wonderful place. Go check it out. It's free to go. There's no charge to go there, but you need to go with the star member your first time, okay? So because we want to know who you are when you get over there. So definitely get involved with this. It's a wonderful, wonderful place. And for dark sky night, if you've never been to a dark sky night, let me tell you, there's nothing better out there than seeing the entire Milky Way galaxy, including, you name it, shooting stars, meteorites, all kinds of activity out there. It's absolutely spectacular in the evening there. So definitely come out and visit us and get to know us. The second thing before I get started, can I talk about outreach real quick? Keith? Okay, that's a yes. Okay. If you are interested in doing outreach with us, probably the best way is contact me directly, or I now officially have the website, a link directly from our website. So go to outreach what is it, Spencer? Outreach at laas.org, right? Outreach at laas.org if you would like to be on our team of people that go out to schools. The latest, by the way, is we do all the schools in Los Angeles, with the exception now we do have a problem that we're trying to work through with the Los Angeles Unified School District due to liability insurance. They're asking for $1 million fingerprinted, and also have to go through some other things, but some other hoops. But we are available to do Culver City, Glendale, Pasadena, and so on. Those are available. So please get in touch with me. Email me at outreach@laas.org, and I'd be happy to put you down as one of our team members. It's a lot of fun. And by the way, our next star party here at Griffith Observatory will be May 3rd, Saturday, May 3rd. So come on out and enjoy it. And the grass, as you can tell right now, is available. And we do have star parties starting up at Mount Wilson for LAAS. So that's going to be a monthly activity, and thanks to Andrew. Andrew, where are you? Raise your hand. Right over there, responsible for all that. Thank you, Andrew. So that's going to be in the upper parking lot for our members. And if you like beautiful dark skies up there and just a great place to go and be with our club and bring your scopes up, do that. Also, we do still have our availability of loaner program for new members. If you would want to know about telescopes or what type of telescope you might want to purchase or get, we have a loaner program, and come to Garvey Ranch on a Wednesday night. And our members there will be happy to show you what's available and what We need to know what your needs are, what you would like to be looking at night and the night sky, and that will help direct us and you in the right direction of getting what you would like. With that said, I know it's time for drum roll. I practiced that. Okay. Yes. Okay. The people on Zoom right now, please sign up to register for the raffle, the door prizes. Will you please do that right now? Okay. So if you want to win some stuff, this is the time. Go ahead, and Spencer's got that site up right now. So just plug in there, and he'll get you from over here. Okie dokie. Let me go get our tickets and we'll get started. Oh, first of all, is there anybody who did not get a ticket tonight? I'd like to give a big round of applause to, she hates us, Nady, for helping out this evening. Yeah, all right. I won't be able to be here next month because I accidentally put a outreach that same night as our general meeting for next month. So she'll be handling it next month for you. And if you don't win a laser, it's your fault. All right. Yes, please. Yeah. And who's in charge of this? Come on down. Yeah, might as well. For God's sakes, you're helping us out with this. I'll let you, matter of fact, announce it. How's that? And I'll get the ticket numbers, and I'll give them ticket numbers.
I'm Justin, and this... I'm Justin, and this is a real thrill for me. The first prize, we're going to depart away from the laser right now. We're going to go with a red light flashlight.
All right, the winning number here at Griffith is 8335191. Who? All right, Eric.
You might need a battery. He won a red light flashlight. The next prize is going to be a online store purchase for under $50.
And the winner is, get your tickets out. Here we go. 8335183. 183. Who's got it? All right, come on down. There you go.
Actually, you can stay there. I'm going to get your email address after the meeting. The final in-person prize is going to be a mystery gift. Keith, where did you put? Is this one of them? I have no idea what's in it.
No, it's not.
It's a big laser. Okay. I'd rather give it to the person.
And the final winning ticket number here at Griffith Observatory is 8335185. Who won? Annie Gross. All righty. Annie, you got to come. We'll bring it up to her. You can just tell us what it is so we know what the hell you got. Okay? Thanks.
All right, I'm coming to you. All right. She's opening the box. What is this? I see brass.
Like a crown.
It looks like a tiara.
Yeah.
Is it a lamp? What is that? The point of the mystery gift is that it remains a mystery.
No mystery. The sun is in the moon.
It's a solar powered wind chime of the moon.
Sun.
Okay. All right, let's get to the numbers actually, so Spencer's going to take over right now for the Zoom. Here we go.
Oh, this is for a online purchase under $50. All the online raffle winners, that's what the prize is.
Okay, so Greg Thompson, first one. Okay, let's see. Mark Schaefer. Second one. What does Mark get?
They're all online store under $50 purchases.
All right. And the third one is Randy Canfield. Mark Schaefer. Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's it. Yeah, we got Greg Thompson, Mark Schaefer, and Randy Canfield.
And our next general meeting here is the date. You're going to do all that? Okay, so back to our president, Mr. Keith.
All right. Upcoming events. The next general meeting is going to be here on May 12th. As Dave said earlier, the next Griffith Star Party is going to be on May the 3rd. That's what I said. I just said that. The 12th. Yeah. And then next outreaches we have coming up, there's going to be a school outreach, I guess, on the 12th. But also look for Silver Lake coming up every Thursday. That'll be the next one coming up. Will probably be that. At SCAS, now I've wet your beak on what it is. We're going to have family night, most likely. Are we doing family night? Is that going to happen? All right, it's on. It's not potential. It is family night this Saturday. Come, it's the best. It's a potluck. Bring food. Share it with everybody. We'll share food back. It's going to be amazing. Come see everything that we were just talking about. And then the following week on April 26th, that's going to be Dark Sky Night, which is the same exact night that the first Mount Wilson Star Party is. So pick a mountain and go to it. That's what it comes down to. Oh, which one is it? That's right. 14th? No, it's earlier. It's the Wednesday before the 12th, right? Like this. Laura May, when's our extra star party that we're doing in May?
I'm pretty sure it's the 14th because it's on the date of our anniversary. So it should.
Oh yes, okay. Got it. Oh, that's right. It's the Wednesday following that one. Right. So yes, we're gonna have a special star party here on May 14th to celebrate the anniversary of Griffith Park. So we're going to be doing a special star party for them. I'm super stoked they asked us to be part of it. So I'm considering it an astronomical hug. So let's all do it together. So that's going to be really fantastic.
We should be able to have solar scopes since we spoke about it at the board meeting. We should be able to have a little bit of earlier time for solar scopes as well.
Right, because that starts at 5, right, Laura May?
Originally, it was going to be starting at 5. I'm trying to get a little earlier, maybe. Yeah.
Okay, great. So yeah, we'll have more details as that gets closer. That'll be really cool. Is there anything else we should address from the comments? I see a big stack of 39 chats. What's that? Well, okay, let's not rule it out. We can put that. Is that phase 2 or phase 3? It definitely can't be in phase 1, Tim. Sorry about that. You weren't there for the strategic visioning. But to be fair, we're not having the sauna either, which was part of the strategic visioning. Would be nice. Maybe phase 2. Well, if there's nothing else, then I'm going to call this a wrap. Thank you, everybody, for coming. I'll ask don't worry about the board meeting. It's on the calendar. All right, everybody. Thank you for coming tonight. Let's hang out a little bit. We got time before we got to go. And thank you, everybody on Zoom. Thank you again to Luke Maraca, Dylan Anderson, and Ada Rodriguez for making it special. And we'll see you guys later.
Yeah. Okay, now unmute.
Hey, Dave.
Hey, Lou.
Good to see you.
Good to see you too. You're still hanging about. And keep posting that stuff, okay?
Oh, I got tons of it. I just don't know when to stop.
Yeah, well, don't. You're slowing down lately. You keep it going. Once a day is good.
I don't know how popular that material is, but I have lots of it. I keep acquiring.
Well, I know you do.
And old furry face here in Denver. Good to see Lou and Mike Gardner and a couple others that we've been squealing at each other, and good to see you.
Same here. Same here.
Don't tell me Mike left already.
Oh,
I don't see him.
Jack Eastman would remember.
Oh, there he is.
I'm here.
Frank Rowe, correct? Jack, do you remember Frank Rowe?
Oh yeah, sure.
I'm in touch with his grandson.
Ah, doggone, very good.
Smaller version of the 16-inch that he used to have, and he donated to the LAS. But it turns out the mirror is 16 inches in diameter, but we had to stop it down to about 14 and a half to get it to perform better. So we started calling it the 14-inch.
Yeah, from what I understood is that it was a piece of lousy glass, and it wouldn't hold a figure. So I think you got rid of the original one and put the 14-inch mirror in there, which actually worked.
Well, the grandson has his 14-inch, an actual full-size 14-inch, which was preparatory to the 16-inch. And he had a picture of it that he showed me. Taken in 2018, but he since sold that telescope to an astronomy club in Orange County. So it's an exact replica of the Frank Rowe 16-inch.
Right.
Is that the Orange County group?
I'm going to post on the LAS, social media IO site.
Yeah, Frank ran a gear company, and that's why you had huge monster gears on that monster.
But Lou, is that the Orange County Society?
I have the email. In his email, he tells me, he posted it on Cloudy Nights, but I forgot the name of the club, but it's in Orange County. It's not that exact name, but they apparently have that telescope now. So Frank was a shop director back in the early 50s, and we have that picture of him in the shops at Griffith with Rush Schnitzer, who's still a member, living in Arizona, and I've been in email contact with him. And he joined the club about the same time that Jack did, right around 1952.
Yeah.
And I'm in contact with Monsignor Royer, Ron Royer, who's the oldest member of our club, who joined in 1946.
Right.
I love you older guys, man. You make me feel young again.
I remember when I first joined in 60, 61, there was the old guard, the old timers, who I always looked up to and respected, and they're long gone. So I'm about where they were then.
Yeah, I had an aunt. She lived over in Cathedral City, and she really gave me a hard time. She said, "You do not want to get old."
Oh yeah. And the alternative
Kind of hard
is
to avoid, isn't it? Thumbs, big toes up on that one.
I haven't been able to attend star parties, mainly because of I get dizzy at sea level, let alone up there.
Oh.
And I have to take care of my. Carla's in a wheelchair and she can't get around, and I'm more or less her caregiver. And I can't get her up there. If we do, it'll only be for an hour or two.
Yeah.
For an hour or two.
Yeah, where I'm staying now, at my house was I think it was 50 feet no, about 150 feet lower than Mount Wilson.
Oh boy.
And I'm up here. I'm up here at Morrison at 60, 56 for 1570. God, try that one again. 5,720, something like that.
That's only about 10 feet higher than Mount Wilson, assuming we know the Mount Wilson altitude correctly.
Yeah.
Well, that's true. Yeah.
And where at Mount Wilson? It's hilly up there.
I think that the actual peak is right near the Snow Solar Telescope. At least on the observatory,
really?
that's the high point of the observatory.
Okay.
There might be a higher peak over where the broadcast antennas are.
All you folks who are still online, look at Jack's image. Does he remind you of somebody?
Who?
To me, he looks like Leonardo da Vinci.
It looks to me like Father Time. I don't know. You know, Monsignor Royer is still hanging around in Springville. It's been a couple of years since I saw him last, but I know Steve Padilla went up there not long ago. He has around-the-clock nuns taking care of him. But he's gone back home from the assisted living place that he was at.
My God.
I think he's 94, 93 or 94.
Oh.
Email doesn't bounce, so it's still good, but he hasn't answered any of our emails. So, yeah, I was concerned about him.
Yeah, he probably he falls. When I was up there to see him last, if the conversation lulled or if anything wasn't exciting going on, he would just fall asleep. But at any moment, but as long as there was something to do and talk about, he was as sharp as a tack. And then you wait for a few minutes.
That's good.
That's good.
I'm not sure if he has any plans, the condition that he's in, to visit any more eclipses, but he definitely saw the 2017 one.
Yeah.
That much I know.
I don't think he could travel to one now.
Yeah. Given he needs care, that level of care.
Oh,
Must be great getting all the nuns to care for him.
Well, he's a Monsignor, you know.
But, I mean, I guess rank doth have its privileges.
That's right.
I guess so.
I'll go see him again if I get a chance. If Steve
good.
goes up there to see him, I'll go along with him.
And that's in Oregon, right? You said?
No, it's Springville. It's east of Bakersfield in the foothills.
He's in the state. Okay.
In the foothills of the Sierras. It's, I think, 17 miles east of Porterville.
Oh,
okay. I know where that is.
What I remember about that was back in the ancient times, Tom Johnson and a couple of us went. It was a mile or so north of where Celestron was born, and Father Royer had the 12-inch scope out there in the patio at noon, looking at the Keosiki.
Oh yeah.
And that doggone thing, I mean, the eyepiece, it looked like a sodium vapor street light. That thing was bright, and no doubt about it.
I think Jeff Schroeder, I think it was Jeff Schroeder who yesterday we had dinner, we talked over it, and he mentioned that, he saw Keoseki in broad daylight by hiding the sun behind a building.
Exactly.
And with no optical aid, he saw it. And it's like,
oh yeah,
how come we can't get that lucky? I mean,
yeah.
We had Hale Bop and Yakutaki, and so we did all right.
Yeah, I guess so, but
we need another comet of the century.
We need a daylight comet. We need another
make observation of Hale Bob that
was another one.
Her and I, we had to strain it through a couple of trees, but it was still interesting to measure the shells coming off of that thing.
Oh yeah.
Wasn't IKEA Seeking in the early 60s?
60s, I recall.
When was it, Jack?
I saw it from Thatcher School in Ojai.
I think mid-60s, wasn't it?
It could be 67.
Oh, okay. That's mid. Close enough.
More than a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, yeah. And unfortunately, that was before I got into astronomy, period. I think I got my first telescope when I was like a year or so after that. So I was like, and then I got interested, and then it's too late.
Ah,
That's the year I graduated from high school, 67.
Yeah. We're gonna have to see this Swan comet. We're gonna have to see what it does, but evening time Joes like me, it's gonna be the oily boys that may get a show. It's showing up for them right now, but right now the evening time guys, it doesn't look good because it's only gonna briefly appear in the evening, and it ain't gonna, by the time the sun sets, it ain't gonna be more than 10 to 15 degrees above the horizon.
oh, yeah, that stinks.
Yeah, that absolutely
And
stinks.
as you pointed out, magnitudes of comets are extremely misleading.
Yeah.
No kidding.
You take it's a fifth magnitude. It should be visible, but take a fifth magnitude star and defocus it until it's 5 arc minutes, and it's called surface brightness, and it's the kiss of death. If you're so those things mean nothing really.
Gave up on
Because through 2018 and 2019, me and Vance tried to use the Garvey Ranch observatory, and I swear to God, I got a formula. Whatever anybody says the magnitude of a comet is, subtract 2 or 3 from that.
Yeah.
The reason I know that is because I don't think we saw one comet through there that was listed as magnitude 8. Of course, we got light polluted skies. But even though I was photographing stars down to 10th, 11th mag, it's like, what the heck is this thing? Doesn't even show up. So it's like, yeah, I'll wait until it becomes unaided eye magnitude, and then I'll bother trying to look for it, because it's like,
give us another Ikea or a Hale Bopp.
Oh yeah, please.
Then I might even crawl out of the sack and go look at it.
West or Bennett.
There you go.
You know.
Yeah.
I observed Comet Bennett from Lockwood in March of 1970. So that, and I have the pictures of it to prove it. So that might have been the earliest astro image of a comet taken from our Lockwood site.
Really?
We only observed the land in January of 1970, and I was up there by myself with my sister's 1964 Mercury comet, as of all things. And I photographed Comet Bennett over in the east. It was a morning object. It was beautiful, spectacular. Yeah, and I was only using either Kodachrome 2 or something like that, and it still turned out well.
I'm surprised that nobody tried photographing from up at Lockwood. I mean, especially back in those days, it must have been darker than hell. I'm surprised nobody tried.
Before Magic Mountain, even.
Oh, even before anything. There was no Santa Clarita. There wasn't any. I mean, you just go down the list. There
That was just when you acquired the property, wasn't there? Were no pads or anything yet by then, were there?
And Rabbit Bush, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Okay.
It's that picture of Comet Bennett that I took from Lockwood in March of 1970, and you can get an idea of what the land. And I have a picture of I took a picture of myself set up with the Mercury comet in the background, and I have my 8-inch RFT, and that was the time when I took the picture of the comet the following morning. So I'll post 2 of those pictures so you get an idea.
Yeah.
Good friend of mine, R.B. Minton, and I don't remember which comet it was this time, but he stuck his nose out to see if it was getting the sky was clear enough. And he went out and looked and says, "Oh, damn, what are these clouds rolling in?" Mumble, mumble. Turned out to be the tail of the comet rising. Yeah. It was I don't remember which one that was, but
what decade?
That I don't know. I'll have to howl at him tomorrow.
Because I went up to Stony Ridge Observatory, which I'm still a member of, although I haven't been there in 3 decades because that road kept killing the undercarriage of my car every time I drove up there. No, that road, you really need 4-wheel drive and I'm not willing to suffer through the gas mileage the rest of the month, just for one damn lousy night. But I remember I got up there. I was the only one up there. And I looked to the east and I said, crap. There's a cloud layer to the east. I'll never see the comet. And then as the minutes went by, the cloud layer got higher and higher. And I suddenly realized that ain't a cloud.
Right.
That's Hyakutake.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh my God.
Yeah.
I did see it from Lockwood, and it stretched, I think, all the way across the sky. It was sure more than 90 degrees long.
Yeah.
Enormous.
Even from a light polluted area,
Yeah.
Curtis and I independently looked at it and at the same spot, and then we said, no, this is stretching from near Polaris to almost to Spica. This is the biggest astronomical single entity I've ever seen in my life. It's like, and we thought the tail might have extended further because it was light pollution where we were.
It probably did with gas tail.
Yep.
Another RV story. I think it was A Mountains out of Tucson, and he was observing out there one night and decided that oh God, here come the clouds, and he almost closed the dome and gave up on it. Turned out it was the Milky Way rising.
Oh yeah, it can be. I've been in Tucson, out in the 20 miles outside of Tucson. It can get really dark and clear because it's far enough away from any ocean that you're probably not going to get a lot of humidity.
Right.
Not a lot of haze. It's absolutely. Now, if you could just deal with the monsoons from July to August, which I had to deal with twice, and believe me, that was no fun.
Yeah, I think it was 82 that we got snookered here, and I was in Tucson, and it rained and rained and rained, and I remember having to stop at a stop sign to watch 3 kayakers go past. And it was pouring rain, and then I went out to visit my aunt out in Cathedral City, and all the playa lakes had water in them, and power poles were snapped off, and it was a 2.5 weeks later, I finally get back here, about 2,000 miles of dry roads, about 11 miles where I had to use 4-wheel drive to get to my house. But I've got an international harvester. This is no problem. And I charged the snowdrift in front of my house. It wasn't snow, it was ice. And I had to have a neighbor come over with a chain and pull my spout off the damn iceberg. And this was
okay, guys. Time to say good night.
Oh no, not now.
Good night, Spencer.
Good night. Sorry, guys. See you next month.
Yeah.
Take care, Jack. Stay well.
I'm gonna let Spencer pull the plug on me.
Well, for the rest of you guys, I still know how to squeak this thing over this thing.
Real quick, we need another Common Homes, which was in the middle of the night.
Hey guys, I'm shutting it down now.
Big. Okay.
So long.
Take care, everybody.
Oh,
Next month.
It's over in his